You're more than welcome to test your microphone and video. I guess a good video habit is if you're not talking, you should maybe turn off your video. I'll just do that. Okay. Anybody else want to grab a mic and video? And where is the learning? There it is. Okay. I hear something.
Nellie, when we get started, perhaps you could do the week 3 retrospective comments, whatever, summary, and then I'll jump in with the week 4 launch, if that's okay. And Vance is going to talk about reserving this room for live events.
Yeah, I could talk about that at some time. I just uploaded the PowerPoint for it. If anybody else has anything, I guess we could get that out of the way. It's something that needs to be said. I just made a PowerPoint for it. The stream is starting, and let me start the recording. So give me a second to do that. Okay, the technique is to erase the previous recording so that you don't get anything appended to your recording. And then under Tools, Recorder, we start recording.
Recording started.
That's it. We're live. We're in Blackboard Collaborate for people who are here in Blackboard Collaborate. We're also streaming in YouTube Live, in case anybody can't reach that space, and we'll find them in a chat wing space. We had a few people last week who weren't able to reach the room. Looks like I don't think there is anybody watching right now, but we just now started. Anyway, this is EVO Electronic Village Online Moderators event that we hold every week. We have a live meeting to touch base with our moderators who are going to be moderating the Electronic Village Online sessions in 2017, starting in January. And let's see, today is the 6th of November, 2016. And we're going to talk today, I believe, not just about reserving this Collaborate room, the one that we're in right now, but we're going to talk about badges, about certificates, and about online spaces. I believe those are the topics. Nellie will introduce them right now. Why don't you introduce what we're going to do today, then you can pass it back to me. Mubarak has just arrived. We have Jose from Brazil. Maria has joined us from Argentina. Martha from Colombia. Mubarak from Morocco, Nellie in Toronto, Nina in Washington, Rose Bard, co-moderating EVO Minecraft MOOC with me in Brazil, and Svetlana from Czech Republic. Okay. Would you like to say a word, Nellie? Nellie might be having a problem. I heard a buzz. If anybody does have a problem in any sessions, if you use this space, you should encourage people to start with Tools Audio Wizard. That's just a little tip. You probably all know about this. Let me go ahead and explain, in case you want to use this space for your own session. It's free to use, but there is a catch. You have to reserve it. And so, I'm going to explain to you in just a few slides how to do that. Okay, Svetlana, got your message. Suryati Abbas in Indiana has just joined us. So, okay, so to reserve the room, you start with the link where you got into this place, and that's webheads.learningtimesevents.org. And that takes you to the space provided by Learning Times, a little web page they created. And here's the web page right here. You've all seen this. Maybe you didn't notice the word timetable. as a blue hyperlink, but if you have clicked on it, you will have seen our calendar. That's how you have to reserve the room. So if you want to use this space, it's fine. It's open to just about anybody. We've never had any problem with anything but maybe spammers in our calendar, but that's been pretty, that's gone away. And but we've never had any problem really with conflicts at the room or unauthorized users, I should say, or people that we don't want using it. It's not very highly used. But when you click on timetable, you'll see the calendar, which looks like this. And there's a couple of things you should note here. First of all, when you reserve the room, you should show time in GMT or UTC. UTC is a coordinated time. GMT is a time zone, which doesn't really correspond to anything but the line running through Greenwich. And London right now, I think, is either an hour, it's not on GMT, it's an hour earlier or later because we're going into winter. So let's see, I think they've fallen back, so they're probably an hour earlier than GMT, and that's confusing for people. So make sure you don't use London time, but use GMT. We get GMT from timeanddate.com. That's a good place to use. Also, you should be aware that if you use this space, it's an open space, and we can't really, you can have a private meeting here, but there's no guarantee that it will be private, because if anybody sees your calendar entry and wants to come here and join you, they're welcome to do that. And that's the whole point of open spaces, really. So to start the process, you go to the month you want to create the event in. Right now we're in November, and then click on a date, and you will see something as you will see in the next slide. So this is the fields that you set in order to create your event. It's quite simple. Just pick a date and a time, beginning time, end time. Just make sure that it's just be sure that you've got GMT time there, because if anybody uses local times, that's not going to work for other people who would be using their local times. We would have no synchronicity. The times would be out of sync. They'd be anachronistic. So then the event text and the details, I always put the same thing. I always write the date and the time of the event in, and I make clear that it's in UTC or GMT, and the name of the event, and the link, the hyperlink where the event takes place. For example, the link to the BB Collaborate room. And then there's a pull down to give a category, and I always choose meeting. So put your name as a contact so that we'll know who created the event, and then click on create event, and you're done. Here's what it looks like. When you go to the calendar, you'll see that I've set events for last week and this week, and then I'll set one for next week as well. And anybody who goes there and wants to set an event will see that time. Actually, I put it at 13:45 because I always reserve it a little bit early, and a little bit later we're ending at about 1500, or I put a little bit after that just so people will to give us time to harvest the recording. And as I said, I include all the details: date, time, and UTC, event description, hyperlink, and put that into both fields, and the result is a little redundancy, but otherwise it's going to give you might be able to fine-tune it yourself, but I just don't bother. Anytime if you pass your cursor over the pop-up, the hyperlink will work in either place. So that's about it. I just wanted to put that for the record. I'll probably upload those slides to SlideShare and make that link available so that people will know, and link it somewhere from the training pages so that people will know how to do that. And I meant to play a video all that time, because I think if you're talking, you might as well hit the video button so that we can see some action going on somewhere in the screen. I forgot, but anyway, when you come on and talk, you're welcome to play the video if you want. Okay, Vance here, and handing over to the next person. Thank you, Nina.
I can go ahead and do this if Nellie is unable to talk.
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, there you go.
Nina, I'm back. I'm here. Can you hear me? I hope you can.
Yes, perfectly. And I'll let you go ahead and kind of do
Okay.
the retrospective on week
So,
3.
Sure, turn on your video
week
if you
3
wish.
went by. Sorry, Vince?
I said turn
I
on your
didn't hear
video if you
on your
wish.
video.
We'll have something to look at
Oh, the video.
in the stream.
Yeah, right. I always forget on
Yeah, I do.
Collaborate.
I forgot too, as you noticed.
I don't know. I guess, I don't know if can you see me, or do I have to take another step?
I can see you.
No, I can
You're
see
looking
that
good.
you've let your hair grow.
Yeah,
Looks nice.
that's a long story, Nina. It's a long story. It's
Looks
long.
wonderful.
It's getting long, yeah.
Are you
No, I
going
gotta
to cut it, or are you going to let it grow?
No, I'm just lazy. Well, not really lazy, just busy kind of lazy.
Gee, busy
Right.
kind of. How many sessions are you co-moderating on top of your, day job?
No, I didn't mean like that. I just, it's hard to get off my feet and take care of things like that. Anyway, but I'll get it done real soon.
I'm going to mute my mic and let you get to business.
All right, so week 3, as I said, went by really fast. I don't know if it went by fast for you guys, but it just seemed like it started and ended. There were lots of discussions. The topics on week 3 were certificates and badges, as well as starting on the content. And as you know, Nina started, she'll probably talk about it, a table, chart where we can add our sessions and all the information that is required there. The discussions on the badges were quite interesting. We also discussed, we continued discussing the forms and, what forms people were planning on using. I know that everyone was well, not everybody, but I know that the people that I'm involved with, which is about 4 sessions, were quite busy getting their weeks, the content, activities, tasks, and resources and everything ready. They're really, really working hard. So that's in the background. They're not even here from what I can see. So, it's work. It's work in the background mostly. So the discussions were less, and I know that people contacted me and they were working. I'm wondering why. Maybe there's no need to discuss different things when you're working with your team and you're discussing anyway. So, it might be a bit redundant. But there were some, challenges that some of the moderators faced with the platforms. I'm thinking specifically of Nicola. And, it's very easy to give up, I guess, and I think Neva's put it really well when she said that it's not easy and it's time-consuming and so on, but really the rewards are worthwhile. But some platforms don't work. In fact, doesn't bother me, but I guess, to people who are new to online sessions, it might be intimidating to realize that technology doesn't always work. Well, it's like life. Life doesn't always work. Nothing's perfect. And, sometimes things go well and sometimes there are problems and we don't really know why there are problems. Same thing with technology. We don't really always know what's going on. For example, there's a plugin on Moodle that doesn't seem to work on 2 of my websites, but it does on 2 others. And the developers can't figure it out either. So, what's going on? Only I can see it and nobody else can see it. So that's really weird. So technology, keeps puzzling us. And I think that it's not such a bad thing to try things out. And, if it doesn't work the first time, try again and keep trying. This attitude of, giving up doesn't make anybody feel good. So, why give up kind of thing. So that's my take on week 3. And keep it up. Don't. We're all together in this, and we all have problems with technology. Nobody has it 100%. So you got to realize that. We all face issues. So that's my take and summary of week 3. And I'm looking forward to week 4, Nina. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Nellie. I wanted to add something that because certificates of participation are a new thing, just a couple of years in EVO, I don't think we have integrated that quite fully into the training wiki. But if you're going to offer certificates to certain participants, and we've said it's very important to set easily accessible criteria for that so that you're not overwhelmed if you have a big session. But you also need to post that information on, I think, on your syllabus. Now, we have a lot of coordinators here today, so maybe some of you and some of the moderators too can jump in and give an opinion here. Do you think that the session page, which is your marketing tool for your session before registration, do you think that the information about whether a certificate will be provided or not should be on the session page? I will mute my mic for a moment.
Yeah, Nina, you mentioned criteria, and I think that's a very, very valid point that we need to discuss. On Moodle, it's quite easy, but I think that Vance has also been using, badges, certificates. The criteria can be basically the same. As to whether we offer badges and certificates, I think we should add it to our public marketing, session.
Maybe the session page needs to say we will not provide certificates to eligible participants, and then the details belong on the wiki or the Moodle or the Schoology or wherever the more detailed syllabus, etc. are.
Well, Nina, the criteria, for example, on Moodle is really long. The criteria, for example, depends on the badges. So if you get a weekly badge, that's 5 badges, and that's 5 badges criteria for the certificate. So if you go through each of the criteria for the badges, it's a long list of tasks. So
right, and I'm not suggesting that.
Work.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that on your session page, you just say that a certificate of participation is available for participants who complete eligibility criteria or something like that, and then on the Moodle itself, you can make clear what the details are, what those specific eligibility criteria are. I think in both cases, those decisions need to be made before the 1st of December. And correct me, Nobarak, if I am wrong, December the 1st is the hard deadline for completing the session page and getting the majority of the content up on the platforms. Is that correct? December the 1st?
Right, Nina, that's right.
Okay, yeah. So actually, after the training is over, the teams will have quite a long time compared to previous years to polish up their sessions. The mentors will be available to you during that time, but on December the 1st, basically all work stops on the EVO2017 wiki. I think last year we actually made it impossible for people to edit further, because that's the time when we are vetting and then moving your session page over to EVO2017.pbworks.com, which is our public page and where the call for participation will be posted. So anyway, just wanted to mention that for certificates, not so much, I mean, feel free to mention if you're going to have badges that badges will be there, will be available on the session page. I'm not sure where on the session page we should put this, maybe just at the bottom of the syllabus, or maybe we should make a new category and a new section of the page. We need to, yes, great idea. Maybe in the abstract, just a final sentence of the abstract saying, referring to the availability of certificates of participation. Just one sentence is fine without details. Right? Certificates of participation are available for those who qualify. Right, and then they can ask you what qualifying means at any time. Right.
Hello everyone. I'm sorry, just to jump in and say a word here. All right, thank you, Vance, for organizing this. Hello everyone. Well, I just wanted to stress the thing that we have to unify the templates, and we have to use only one template for all sessions. We can just diversify them by adding the, let's say, the logo of each session, but we have to use only one template for all sessions. What do you think? By the way, I have just shared a link on Jing on a video how to edit the certificates on Google Drive using a PDF editor, which is an extension of Google Drive. I think the video is clear, but I think it's up to the moderation team to decide what are the criteria to qualify
Absolutely.
for the certificates. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mubarak. Yeah, it's up to the session team to determine what the criteria are, but I just want to remind you once again that you don't know if you're going to have 20 people in your session or 5,000, so just make it easy to determine if people have, if people are eligible. And there have been discussions in the Google Plus community this week about how that can be done. So, does anybody have a comment or question about week 3 before we move on to week 4?
I'm holding back because I want to say something about badges and criteria.
Well, now would be a good time because that's what we're talking about now in week 3.
I'm trying to put the link to the spreadsheet here in the, but it's, I don't know, maybe it's going. I just put a link there. It might. Oh, I think it is working. Oh yes, that link is good. Okay, so I put in the chat, in the Blackboard Collaborate chat, a link to the criteria for EVO Minecraft MOOC. And let's see. So what that is, let me have a look at it myself. I've got too many computers here and too much going on these computers. Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, so basically, this is just an example, if you want to have a look, of how we have been awarding the EVO Minecraft MOOC badge. And you can see that you're going to open a spreadsheet and it has 10 or 12 missions there. And each mission uh, participants don't have to accomplish all of them, but they have to accomplish, say, 10 out of 12 or something like that. Or we kind of make up the number as we go along, actually. But you can see that the first mission is to introduce yourself on the Google Plus community. So if you do that, and then you need to paste the link in the spreadsheet to that introduction. That is so that people like you right now can go to that link and then see what people who have been awarded the badge have done to earn that badge. And the second one is to enter Blackboard Collaborate, install and enter it, and I guess people just write yes and no on that one. Fill in the Google registration form, okay. Reflect on your activities for weeks 1 and 2. Here there will be a link to a blog post or something, and join this Google Sheet. So if you're writing anything here, you've done that. Join us in Minecraft, explore other networks, etc. And for everything, you have to put some kind of link or some sort of corroboration. And what we have is, if you scroll down, you can see Rose, for example. She's the first one listed, Rose Bard. She's here, and she got a badge having done the requisite number of missions. So that's just an example of if you set up badges or possibly even certificates, there's supposed to be something that you can click on and see the evidence. The evidence for our badge is what you're looking at right now if you've opened that spreadsheet. So for each badge, it has a link to the evidence for the participant who was awarded the badge. So anybody who gets that badge gets the link with it. And when you post that badge on your website or your blog or wherever you post it, or as many places as you want to post it, you include the hyperlink so that the badge and the hyperlink go together, and that makes the badge meaningful. It gives credibility. I use Credly, and that's the whole idea behind Credly. It provides a link. Yes, and as Nina's just asked, a spreadsheet is editable by participants. Yes, and they have to enroll in that space. That is, they have to request editing rights, and when they do that, then they can start writing on that space. So it's not just that anybody can write there. And theoretically, I'm supposed to remove those rights. I haven't done that yet, but I'm supposed to remove the rights so that the evidence stays as it was set when we awarded the badge. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, we'll take them. Yes. Nina, go ahead and tell us what you're writing in the text chat.
Well, I'm just kind of summarizing to say that the 2 sessions now, your session bands and ICT for ELT, seem to use a spreadsheet where participants can enter their own information, and then the moderators can go see who's earned a badge and whether a certificate can be given. If you're giving certificates as well and earning a requisite number of badges as criteria for whether to give the certificate or not.
Yeah, you could.
So it seems to work pretty well.
Because the stipulation on certificates is it can't say it's a TESOL certificate. It has to say that it's the certificate you awarded. Now, you could have the link to a spreadsheet like this that people could, if you give a certificate, that link could be there. You can make it Google or tiny URL out of it, and so it could be on the certificate. People could go to that place and see what was done to earn the certificate or the badge.
Another thing about certificates that I don't know if we've thought too much about is that we've, I think, kind of assumed that certificates are given to people who request them and have met the criteria that you have set. So if somebody doesn't request a certificate, they wouldn't necessarily get it, because each certificate requires the moderating team to edit the template that Mubarak has made by adding the participant's name and the name of the session. But the dates will be there, and the EVO stuff will be there, and the logo, but you need to put the name and the session title. So you don't want to do that if somebody doesn't care if they get it. I don't know, has anybody just automatically awarded certificates? Nevis says, wouldn't you do it using the autofill in something? I don't get the end of that. I don't know.
Maybe she's thinking of Moodle, because on Moodle it's all done automatically.
Right. Moodle is a bit different because you set it to automatically generate things, and then it does. But if people are not using Moodle, and still we don't have half of our sessions using Moodle. I think there are maybe 5, 6. So for the other sessions, like ICT for ELT, somebody actually has to do it. Oh, okay, with Google Drive. Nevis, can you explain how you do that? Do you have a mic?
While she's setting up, I'd just like to say that Neves has been interacting in chatwing.com/Vance STVANCESTEV, and Mariana Smolchets is there as well. She's having trouble with Java, so she's watching the stream. And was there somebody else there? I'm not sure. Anyway, we do have watchers in the stream, and so it works. It's nice that people can participate even if they have trouble on the day with Blackboard Collaborate.
I think we need to add this information to the page. Is that Nevis? Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Hello, can you hear me at all? Oh,
yes,
great.
Nevis.
Okay, basically, okay, in Google Drive, on Middle MOOC, like with MOOC 7, there's a Google document that once participants have filled in a Google form, that's how I set it up, with their details, automatically the certificate was written and sent out by email. You create a database, you create a Google form, and with the Google form it creates your database, and then you give it the instructions to carry out once you've created your template, and it just does it automatically. So really, it's not that hard. I can prepare something to show you how to do it, but that's
Nevis, that would be great. Can you prepare a little tutorial, and we will add it to the training wiki?
Okay, we'll do.
You can send it to me, or you can send it to Nellie, and we will put it on EVO training on the certificates page.
Okay, great.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And we'll also put it on the tutorials page. Let's put it in 2 places.
And you could also make a slideshow either in Google Presentation and upload it. If you make a slideshow tutorial, you could upload to slideshare.net, or you could make it in Google Tools and make it available publicly there. So many options, including the one she mentioned.
Will do. Thank you, Vance. Okay. I can't promise how fast I will be, but it will be.
Well, you don't have to,
Thank you.
because there's a video right there in the chat box. Someone else has done it in 2015.
Oh, great.
So
exactly, yes, that's where I think I got it from.
Okay. Right.
Nellie, would you do me a big favor, because I can't grab that URL? Can you add it to those 2 places, the tutorials page and the certificates of participation page on EVO training? Great, thank you very much. Okay, so if there's nothing else to say about week 3, let's talk about week 4. So I don't know if you've been looking at the benchmarks area in the week. If Vance, if you can pull up the benchmarks for week 3 or week 4 on a web tour, that would be great.
Okay, will do.
They basically, why don't you do week 4? Towards the end of the week, we're hoping that you go to this little checklist and say, okay, I've done this, check, 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 check. Oh, I haven't done that one yet. And use it to make sure that stuff has gotten done that's supposed to be done. So on the week 4 page, I'm looking now at the objectives of the week. Actually, not the benchmarks, because we're just beginning. And that's up near the top. And so I've just put a link to the session 17 page. Because one of the things at the end of week 3, and also very important in week 4, is, okay, Van, can you scroll up, and everybody can do this, if you can scroll up to the objectives of the week for week 4, you can see that
on a web tour, everyone has to scroll themselves.
Right.
And let me put I'll paste the URL into the chat so that everyone can go there. I'm not sure if it shows in everybody's screen, but if you click on that link, that should give you the benchmarks. I just put it in the text chat.
Okay, so I am looking at the objectives of the week, which is up at the top underneath the table of contents. And the first thing is, by the end of week 4, which is also the end of the training session, we want you to complete your session syllabus in the proposals wiki. And let me be a little bit more specific here. Your proposal turns into your session page, and that requires that you remove certain parts. For example, the statement of commitment at the bottom where you all signed, I agree, I agree, I agree. You can take that out now. It has served its purpose. And you can take out the mention of primary contact person, because that was for the training. We know who our primary contacts are now. The rest of it stays pretty much the same, in the same order. That is going to be your session page, which, as I said earlier, is your marketing tool. That's what the call for participation will link to. And what goes on the actual call for participation is a copy of Sessions 2017, which is a table. I just put the link in the text chat, and it is below where Vance says "You are everywhere, Rose." If you click on that, you will see that there has been a table established that is waiting for you to fill in your stuff. And a lot of that stuff you can already fill in. 2 sessions have already gone ahead and put some things in there. What's important to do this week and in the next couple of days, I would say by Tuesday, you should get your links to your session spaces, your online spaces, your Moodle, your Schoology, your Wiki, your Yahoo group, your Google Plus community, so that other people can visit those and give you some feedback. One of the things that we're asking you to do, and now I'm scrolling down to task 2, which is visiting other sessions. We ask each moderator in the training to visit at least 2 other session spaces, finding the links from, again, I'm putting the, the link in the chat again for sessions 2017. So you go there from there. That's why we want those to be up by Tuesday. And then to write a little critique or analysis of one or more of these, including, is the front page appealing? Can you suggest any changes that would make it even better? Is the syllabus easy to find? Does the work seem to be manageable in the 5 weeks? Remembering that the group members are volunteers and maybe working full-time. And does it include time for introductions at the beginning and the evaluation survey at the end? Is there interactivity involved in the session? How will people interact? What kinds of links are there? Are the links working? Do you think the links are useful? And what's the best part? And what do you see as needing the most improvement in the next few weeks? And we ask that you post that for 1 or more spaces that you visit in the G+C, the Google Plus community. So this is a really crucial part of the training, the opportunity to visit others' spaces. Now you have to be a little bit thick-skinned for this because most people are not 100% ready to go, and we need to understand that these things are still a work in progress, and what we're doing is providing gentle feedback so that the team know where to focus their efforts. Any questions about that? So we're asking that you fill in the table at 2017, sessions 2017, because that's going to be copied over to the call for participation, so you want it to be very nice and accurate. And the links to the online spaces will not be part of the call for participation, which links only to your session page. That will be removed, but that's important for now. And if you are running late, and I suspect there are sessions who are running late, and you post those links after the training is over, please notify us in the Google Plus community that you have posted your links and you would like feedback, and I'm sure that somebody will be kind enough to visit your site and give you some feedback. Do I have any corroboration or comments or questions at this point?
Yeah, we have another quarter hour or so, and I would really like to hear from moderators how they think the session is going. If they have questions, we can answer, make sure that people's needs are being met, or especially in these live sessions. So I'd like to open the mic to anybody. Just click on the talk button, and there should be plenty of mics to go around. If you're not using your mic button, you can click on the talk button again to release it. There are 4 mics available.
Hello, everybody. This is Carolina Rodriguez Buitrago. My keyboard is acting up on me today, so I haven't been able to write my name anywhere because the O is not working. Anyway, I am hello, Jose Antonio. I am an assistant coordinator this time, but I'm also moderating, co-moderating the flipped learning session. Um, we are still working on our syllabus. We have met, let's say via email all this week. We have been talking about some adjustments that we want to make to our syllabus because, well, the past 2 years we have done flipped learning 101 basically, and so we want to spice it up a little bit this time. So we are tweaking some things. We are changing, some little things. Basically what we're doing is focusing on the 4 pillars of flipped learning, and so we're going to work each week on one of the pillars. We just were kind of discussing and analyzing, what pillar should go first, because not necessarily the flexible learning, flexible environment would go first for teachers who are just trying to flip for the first time. So we have been doing some changes. We have been thinking about, last year we considered awarding certificates because people kind of asked for them. However, it was kind of difficult for us to get organized to get the certificates going. So probably this time we're gonna make a bigger effort to make it happen. So so far so good. It's just basically, as you mentioned, Nina, very busy weeks for all the 6 moderators, and very, just kind of like going back and forth with email communications. It's been a little hard, so we are going to meet synchronously. I think it is tomorrow, so we just finish up everything that we have been discussing, and we just put it all together in the page, in the wiki page. So, okay, I'm checking the chat. Hi, everyone. So hi, Jose. Hi, Nina. Hi, Maria. Okay, who else? Saying hi. Martha. Hi, Martha. That's my friend. So, yeah, that's actually what we've been working on, for the flipped learning session. We've been kind of quiet in the Google Plus community. I guess my co-moderators are really busy at this time. Jeff runs the Yamato Language Center, and probably at this point they're really busy. So is John. So sorry about that, but we are, behind stage working hard for our session to get better every time.
Thank you so much, Caro. I'm so glad you were here. I couldn't figure out who Karke was. Is there anybody else that would like to add their 2 cents? Or 3?
I'd just like to, Hazel Workman is following us in the stream, and I'd like to apologize there for the quality of the video. You can see the text chat unfolding, for example, but you can't really read it, and that has to do with the bit rate. But after the fact, the recordings that we make include a text chat, so you can read that later, and we'll have a the recording of this session will be available probably about half an hour after the session is over. So you can go back and see that all if you want.
I'm looking at Carolina's keyboard is acting up. It gave me a laugh. Thank you. There was something else I wanted to say. If your session goes ahead, and not all of them will, we have a couple who are withdrawing, and of course, in order to be included in the call for participation, you have to fulfill some criteria. Your session page has to be ready. Your platforms need to be ready with content added, although you can add continue adding content after December 1st. Is there a link we can show to invite participants? Not yet, Maria. Can you please wait until December, when the call for participation goes live, and then you can give that, that link. Or just wait until you receive the call for participation announcement, and then share that. Heck, I'm fast, man. So the other thing I wanted to mention, which you may want to put on your, if you have a pre-session section on your syllabus, or even your week 1 section, we always begin the EVO with a kickoff webcast with Vance and Jeff Lubau. It might be here. It looks like it's going to be here. And we invite all the sessions, all the moderators, all the coordinators, all the participants that we can get to join that session and kind of kick off the new year of EVO. So if somebody can put the date for that, I think it's January 8th, but I'm not sure. And I don't have 2017 right here in front of me. I'm going to put January 8th, 2017, kickoff webcast. Please invite, thank you, Jose Antonio. Please invite your participants and encourage your moderating teams to attend that webcast, or at least to drop in on it. And what we've been doing for the past few years is, on the kickoff webcast, we ask at least one representative from each team to talk for a few minutes about their session. And then at the end of the session, I think it's around February 16th or something like that, we will have a closing webcast at which we will encourage participants to share their experiences during the 5 weeks. Although we're happy to have moderators talk in that one. In general, the kickoff is more moderators talking and participants listening, and the closing webcast is more participants. So you can include that on your syllabus and just put, details to be announced. Okay, it's 9:58 a.m., which means we've been talking almost an hour. I don't have anything else to say, I don't think, except one thing. After the training is over, and it isn't yet, please stay with the Google Plus community, because that is the way the coordinating team will communicate with the moderating teams throughout the session. So from now through the middle of February and beyond, let's say through to March 1st, please keep checking the Google Plus community announcements, or notifications, I guess they're called. Okay, over and out. Thank you, Vance. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Oh, I forgot my video. There's Vance. So just saying goodbye from Maryland. Have a great week. Hope to visit your sessions platforms, and stay in touch with your mentor. Any of us can answer questions if you like. Stay in touch. Have a great week.
Okay, well, thank you, Nina, for officiating in this session, and Nelly for doing the wrap-up for week 3, and Mubarak for checking in and being the persona in the background. So We don't really have to leave unless you want to. I'd be happy to stay for another 5 or 10 minutes and take any questions or hear your comments. If anybody has any. I generally wind these Blackboard Collaborate sessions down kind of slowly. That is, we have to wait until the room clears before we can put the recording in the can. So we're still streaming, and the recording is still on. If anybody would like to have a last word, you're more than welcome to use your microphone now. I notice Neves is saving the chat, so that's a fine idea, but I also will get a transcript. If you check the learningtogether.net pages, and I'm posting the link in all our, the links to the, for example, in the week 2, week 3 event page, I'm putting links to the recording archives, which include the text chats. And Svetlana asks how to leave. Just close. Yes, you can do that. That will be fine. And sorry to see you go, but thanks for coming. And eventually everybody has to leave, and there are 2 ways to do that. Either you can get tired of listening to us or talking to us and exit the space, or if time goes and you're still there, I'll just nudge you out the door. I have a little moderator's way of doing that. So we'd really like to hear your voices. If you'd like to say goodbye to us or get yourself on the recording, and we'd like to hear your feedback.
Goodbye, Vance. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Carolina.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for everything.
Okay, thank you, Martha. In Colombia. Okay, well, people are slowly filing out, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is stop the stream. And that's going to be in, let's see, I have to go to my live control room in YouTube/live and stop the stream. Bye, everybody in the stream. Thanks for joining us, in case you're still there. And looks like I'm not really sure how many people we had. Anyway, okay. I'm just getting the hang of this myself. For the first part of the stream, I really apologize. First part of the stream, I had the XSplit streaming window up over the Blackboard Collaborate because I have to see what's going on when I start the stream. But I need to pull it down out of the window so that it stayed up there for probably 40 minutes, and I'm very sorry about that. Okay, anyway, with that, good night to everybody in the stream.